This is another episode of Starving Artists. And listen, man, this episode is crazy. And I really hope that you guys enjoy it. Today on the podcast, I got my brother, Chris Brochu. Look, you guys, I know you know Chris. You have to know. There's no way you couldn't know Chris. Chris has been on Hannah Montana. Chris was in Lemonade Mouth. Chris was in Soul Surfer. Chris was on the Vampire Diaries. Chris was on The Magician. Chris is on everything. Chris is one of the hardest working people I know. And outside of the acting, man, he's an amazing musician. He's got Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Look it all up, man. He has so much music out. And if you want positive vibes, if you want to turn up, man, and just kind of feel good about yourself and about life, listen to his music. We talk about, look, Chris and I go way back. We met when I was probably like 8 or 9 years old here in Tampa, Florida, and stayed in touch to the best of our abilities. I live in Florida, he lives in California, but it was great to be able to reconnect with him. We talked about back when we first met. We talked about him moving to LA. We talked about his time with Disney and Nickelodeon. We talked about his time on Soul Surfer. We talked a lot about the Vampire Diaries and how the Vampire Diaries saved his life. We talked about music, and we talked about his love for gardening and building and stuff like that. Listen, man, we kind of go all over the place, and that is my bad. I was just so excited to talk to my brother, and there were a few interruptions by my son. So, we're going to cut some of it out. I'm not cutting it out. Derek's going to do that. I don't really know what's going to be here and what's not going to be here. So you might just be able to throw this away. I don't know. But if there is any cut interruptions, that's my bad. My son woke up and came to join the party. But this is another episode, and I really hope you enjoy it. So without further ado, Chris Brochu.
Everybody's aiming for the top, trying to make it before all your time is up. We stay up on the grind all day, non-stop.
Welcome back to another episode of Starving Artists. I'm LJ Jones, and look, I have an amazing episode lined up today, man. I cannot be more excited to welcome to the podcast my brother, Chris Brochu. What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, brother, man. It's going good. Long time no see.
Absolutely, man. I think I was like 12 the last time I saw you.
Dude, it was what would that have made me? Like, how old are you right now?
I turned 24 on Saturday.
Okay, so happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
Oh, good. Nice. So we're 6 years apart. I'm 30.
Okay.
Oh, that wasn't so you were I was like 18.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
Time flies, man. That's 12 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I think I met you in 2006 because we were doing the classes together, and then we went to New York for the competition. That was 2006. So that's crazy.
That is crazy.
I mean, we've stayed in touch a little bit here and there, thanks to social media, but it's nice to see you face to face.
Same, man. I just signed on. I was like, oh my gosh, it's been that long.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that kid no more, I got to send you. I found this picture the other day of you and Doug at the convention holding your trophies and stuff up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you got your long surfer hair. I gotta send you that made me smile to see that.
Dude, send it over for sure. Flashback.
I know. But man, I start every one of these off asking, asking you to tell the people where you're from and what was that aha moment for you when you realized that this is what you wanted to do?
So I was born in Tennessee. Lived in, and the short story, the way I say it is like my childhood was North Carolina, my teenage years were Florida, and then 17 onward has been California. And the aha moment, I think, I think there's like a couple, right? Like the aha moment to like come out to California was more like, cool, let's go on an adventure. Like that was my thought about it, and I'm just stoked on that like dream. And then you start booking stuff, and then it's like a fun little wave. But for me, it was kind of like when I really started getting into like classes and stuff, and learning about how like what like the art form is, and like different methods, and like how serious some people take it. And
Mm.
it's kind of like one of those just art forms that is like endless. So you
Yeah.
kind of have to figure out like what your parameters are within it and how you navigate like emotionally through the world. So yeah, there was a couple of different ahas, I guess.
Yeah. So, well, I'm trying to remember how it went. Who was in class first? You or Doug?
Doug and
Okay.
Kate, I
Okay.
believe they were in class at the same time.
Okay. All right. But yeah, I was trying to remember exactly how that went. Um, but no, I remember. I don't know if it was like the day I met you. But I have like a vivid memory of you and Doug in class, and Kate just all being hysterical. Like I
Dude,
remember.
that, you know what, that is an aha, because I remember that moment too. That was like we were
Yeah.
doing improv stuff,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh my gosh, this is like fun, and like we're having fun. Like this is
Yeah.
crazy.
You
So that's
remember Steve?
definitely like
Yeah.
that's definitely a moment, man. That's I think about that moment actually.
I remember Steve having us do different scenes from like Friends and stuff like that. Also, like aside from the improv, to just try to find those comedic waves. And
Yeah,
yeah, I remember that. Like I always look back at that time, man. Like just falling in love with it. Like initially, it
yeah,
was just an exciting time as a
yeah.
creative.
Totally.
So after a while of taking those classes, you guys, your whole family moved from Tampa to LA. So what was that initial experience like, just getting there and settling in?
Dude, like just surreal. Like I said, so like we basically said, yeah, if we can save the money to
Hmm.
go do it for 3 months, then we'll go do it. And we ended up saving up the money, so we just did it, and we got there, and it's like surreal. We're like in this little house in Reseda, California, with like 11 people in it, and just not like nobody like thought twice about it. It was just like I
Yeah,
said, adventure, and we were just into it. And we had a we had a manager at the time, which she was not a good manager, but it that facilitated us to come out
yeah,
there and actually start like navigating through the business.
mm,
So yeah, I guess just like surreal, man, like
yeah.
surreal. Yeah.
I'm curious. Was that manager that wasn't a great manager? Do I know her? Was it the
Um,
one who used to come down here?
Potentially, yeah,
Okay, all right, yeah. That's
yeah,
a off-camera conversation. I was
yeah,
curious. Sorry.
exactly.
Every kid dreams of being on Nickelodeon and Disney Channel, and you had the opportunity to be on both. You were in Hannah Montana,
Yeah,
Lemonade Mouth, Zoe 101 on Fabulous. Um, I remember sitting down in front of the TV watching all of those, just to be supportive of you. So,
dude,
what was it like working for those corporations?
crazy, because those were like some of the first, like the Zoe 101 on Fabulous.
Mhm.
Those were like one of my, and the Hannah Montana were like one of
Yeah,
my first things that I ever booked, because it was Unfabulous, and what the other one? Unfabulous, and what was the other Nickelodeon? I just said it.
oh, Zoe
Anyway,
101.
Zoe 101. They were like one-liners, so that
Yeah.
was cool. I remember being very nervous about like going up, saying my one line and
Yeah.
leaving. Um, Hannah Montana was like a couple different scenes, which was nice. And then Lemonade Mouth coming in when I was about 21, I think.
Mhm.
And that was just like a full-on movie that did really well on Disney. And
Yeah.
dude, working for that it's interesting. Like you jump into a machine, and
Yeah.
like they're pumping stuff out. And it's
Yeah.
like with any production though, like, everybody's got their ways of doing production, and Disney and
Mhm.
um whatever Nickelodeon, but I think they're Viacom, or so
Yeah.
like the
Right.
corporations, like how they run stuff is all very like effective and efficient. So it's really about they all kind of like feel the same, like
Mhm.
um sometimes working with different, well, okay, with Disney and Nick, no bad
Yeah.
like problems or anything like that for me.
Right.
Like I'm just grateful for all the opportunities that I got to be a part of. But it's
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
just a wave.
The relationships that are formed on set are kind of surreal. So I mean, I know you're still close with Haley Kiyoko. Like,
Yeah.
what were those relationship forming moments like?
So for me personally, like I have a certain like ethos about set, and like I go in, I basically ask nothing of anybody, and I just make sure that I show up and I'm personable and I'm not interested in you, the actor, or the business, or the entity, or the corporation. Like I just want to be like, yo, how was your lunch? So
Right.
I'm there to like
Yeah.
connect with people and show up and do my job. And so sometimes you connect with people, and it's always good vibes because that's
Yeah.
what you're like putting out there. But
Right.
sometimes you connect and it lasts, and sometimes you just kind of see each other on different projects or whatever, like bumping in at events or
Yeah.
something. But yeah, Haley is just like one of the homies. Like she's just a
Yeah.
good human, and like we just like check in with each other every once in a while just to kind of see how we're doing. And I mean, the past couple of years have been crazy for her. She's been
Oh yeah.
everywhere. So um, it was good. I saw her like last year at some point, maybe like 6 months ago or something. That was really
Mm.
nice. So
I
yeah,
was think. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
no, you're
No,
good. Sorry.
no, I always think about like how especially on a set, like working on whatever it is you may be working on, like the group of people that are there, like you guys are the only people to experience that experience. So just to kind of have that connection is really cool, especially for you guys, because I think Lemonade Mouth is probably a really defining moment in both of your careers.
Yeah, it definitely helped. Like I think there's all these just little stepping stones that you
Yeah.
hit, and without one, could the other have happened? I don't know.
Mhm.
But when I go back, I see those as like, yeah, definitely defining moments for sure.
Absolutely. So, and then shortly thereafter, you booked Soul Surfer, which was a
Yeah.
massive movie.
So you know what? Actually, it was Soul Surfer first, and then
Was it okay?
Lemonade Mouth. But they may have. I don't know when they actually like released or whatever,
Yeah.
which one came out first. But yeah, they were literally within like 6 months of each other or something.
Right.
Yeah, it
So, what
was
was that
crazy.
experience like? Like from the audition to the filming to the press, like for Soul Surfer.
Soul Surfer was one of the first ones that it was one of the first times I ever read a script and it was like, this is my movie. And
Yeah.
I've done that a couple times, and I've done it a lot of times where it absolutely wasn't. Like I think I tell myself every time, like, this is my movie. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because I think that's just how you have to be. But that was one of those times that super just clicked because I read the script and it was like all just I just loved it.
Yeah.
And that was super crazy. Well, so the audition process was pretty mellow. I think I only auditioned once. Um,
Oh wow.
and it originally started off as like a lower budget film, and then I auditioned, I got on board, and then they just started loading up the cast like Helen Hunt, Dennis Quaid. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my god, I did not. This was not what I thought was happening,
Right.
but it was awesome. So that process, okay, so like auditioning, like went in, yeah, it was a good audition. It was like one of the
Mm.
first times I think that I like I remember really because I had to. It was like the scene in the kitchen where I'm looking for my spam, and I remember it being one of the first auditions where I actually like went to go look in like fake cupboards and shit, like really dedicated to what was going on in the scene, even though there was nothing there to play with. So I remember that being a pretty, for some reason that sticks
Yeah.
out to me. And then filming is just, I think it was like seven. It was probably one of the more glamorous shoots I've ever had. There's like
Yeah.
7 weeks on Oahu, and we were on
Beautiful.
the North Shore. Yeah, we were. I mean, North Shore. We were on the West Side, and the coolest part was like we were just with the locals because the locals
Mhm.
were the crew. So like after set, people were surfing or people were just hanging out or whatever. So that was a lot of fun. And then the
Did you
press
know?
afterwards. Sorry,
Did
go
you know
ahead.
how to? Did you know how to surf before the movie, or did you learn for the film?
Yeah, I knew how to surf, but unfortunately, my character he rides bodyboard.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah.
So Timmy Hamilton actually taught me how to properly do it because he didn't want me to look like a kook on film.
Yeah.
So. He took me out a couple times. I got wicked burnt one day. Like my
Really?
back was thrashed from just boogie boarding all day one day.
I wish I had that in me to do those things well, but unfortunately, I can't. I try,
The boogie
bust my
board?
ass. Yeah, yeah. No, I can't. I can't. Sir, I can't do nothing. I'm. My athleticism is pretty much just baseball and volleyball, and we'll leave it there. I
Fair
try to
enough.
surf. I try to do that stuff. I can't do it.
What about skateboard?
No, no longboard. When I lived in L.A. When I was in high school, I was going for pilot season, and I picked up longboarding. That's just something that we used to
Yeah,
just longboard
totally.
around the city. That's about it.
Yeah, fair. Well, that the reason I say is because you could probably like I feel like if you have the balance to be on a skateboard, you can do surfing. It's just about getting the right board and the right wave, like
Okay,
finding the right spot and with the right like buoyancy.
maybe I should give it a try again because it's been like I think the last time I got on a board was like probably I was 18 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, when you're back out here and hit the waves.
I have to Santa Monica, beautiful.
Yep.
But the press, what was the press like?
So on set, pretty mellow. Do different interviews and whatnot. So that's always just like talking about the movie and talking about the film, and
Yeah.
that's just when you're in it, it's all fresh and you can speak about it. The hardest thing about me for press is when you're doing press like a year or two after the project,
Mhm.
and then you gotta like, for me at least, I gotta go back and kind of get back into that mentality because I'm really good at like once I'm done with a project, like I'm done with the project, and
Yeah.
it doesn't have any more like space in my mind. Then
Yeah.
I can go back and kind of recall. But yeah, the press for that was painless, and then we had a nice premiere, I believe, at the ArcLight
Oh wow.
in Hollywood,
Yeah.
and yeah, just good good vibes, good movie, good family movie.
But working with working with Dennis Quaid and Helen Hunt is insane.
Yeah,
Like they're those massive movie stars. How was it working with them? I'm sure they're beautiful people.
dude, it was amazing. Like
Yeah.
Helen Hunt, super like zen,
Hmm.
um, and just super sweet. She was very kind to me. Um, Dennis Quaid as well. Like we'd all go out like surfing, and yeah, I went up to him at like a at a club one time, not a
Yeah.
club, but like a bar that had a band playing. I was like, I played your son. He was like, oh. I was like, okay, I'll see you later.
No recollection.
Anyway,
That's
it
amazing.
was. I
Yeah.
just, I'm a person that like, if I can, yeah, I'll go
Yeah.
say hi again because like,
Yeah.
I feel like you'd remember me, but at the same time, I'm not gonna, sit there for
Yeah.
5 minutes and recall the past with you because you
Yeah.
probably
No, but
don't want to.
yeah, I'm sure it was probably crazy busy in there too, and it probably like he's like, oh shit, I would have liked to have spoken to
Totally.
him, but no, no,
Yeah,
that's
they were great. They were like I said, no complaints. No complaints.
so. I a lot of people know you as Luke from the Vampire Diaries,
Hmm.
which was a massive, massive hit. Now, let me tell you my experience with the Vampire Diaries. I had never watched it, and then when the news came out that you booked it, was that season 6,
Yeah, I think it was like
5?
it was either 5 and 6 or 6 and 7. I think it was 5 and 6.
5 and 6. Okay, so I
Yeah.
I had, I had, I had never seen it before, and anytime anybody I know books something, I always want to just tune in to be supportive and just
Totally.
truly just I'm always excited for the people that the people that I know I love to see people that I know win,
Heck yeah. Heck
and
yeah.
and so I remember the news came out and I was like, okay, well, I don't want to just tune in season 5 and not know what the fuck is going on. So it was on Netflix. I went and I binged the show, and I'm like, oh, okay, no, this is a really good show. And so by the time season 5 had aired, I was invested in everything and everybody, every character. But so what was that like, man? What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, it was another one of those just again surreal moments, man. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was I think it was I think I shot most of that in 2015. So it was my last audition of 2014,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't hear anything, and then I got the call in January, and then yeah, went out there, and I was just on and off for like 14 episodes. So it started off as like guest star, possibly reoccurring. And so okay, and so, every episode that I got after the first one was just like a bonus.
Yeah.
So yeah, they kept me on for 14 episodes, and that was, I mean, fantastic. And the cast, same thing, like very. It's interesting jumping into. I knew jumping into like a series after 5 seasons, like it's a family and it's its own little ecosystem. So
Mm-hmm.
again, I kind of just did what I did. Like I was always prepared, and I was always just trying to like connect and
Yeah.
say hi. So it was again another one of those like surreal things. It's one of those Vampire Diaries is one of those um, things that happened in my life that really made me. I believe that the universe is like looking out.
Yeah.
Like when things need to come through, they come through, and that show for me was just a huge. I don't know. It like solidified that for me.
And with that show going on to do the originals and legacies, and especially in that world, I'm holding on hope that you'll show up in
Dude,
legacies.
me too, man. I want that. They brought Joe back. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, come on. But like a Flash, you know what I mean? Like I could
Yeah.
be their subconscious. I'm the bloodline for God's sakes.
They brought Kai back in season 2, man.
Come on. That's what I'm saying. Bring the
Look.
Wonder Twins back. That's
Yeah.
all. Jeez, man.
That'd be amazing. And
Oh,
let me tell you something funny. I don't my recollection of the timeline is a little fuzzy. So with whenever the news came out that you were cast in it, I don't know if it was before or after, but my agent had got me an audition for Kai. Now,
oh, wow.
of course, Chris Wood is perfect Kai. Nobody else could have played him,
Dude,
but
yeah.
that's interesting. Like that's amazing.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, and he played it very differently than I had envisioned it, and his performance was chilling. So, what was it like working opposite him?
I loved working with Chris. Chris and I like really connected. Uh, I thought he was such a good actor, and I
Mm-hmm.
love working with people that scare me. Like, like
Yeah,
I love working with really good actors because it makes
yeah,
me very insecure, which makes me work so much harder. And
right.
that's just like the reality of it. So I loved doing any scene with him because I knew that he was going to be one of the individuals that came in hot every time. And
Yeah,
I want to meet him, and I want to be that for him as well.
yeah, yeah.
So working with him was amazing. I really loved it. I need to reach out to him and just kind of see how he's doing. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's a really good actor.
So your character was the first gay recurring character in the show, and I remember that being such an important moment. So, what was that like for you to just be able to take on that responsibility?
I mean, again, just like grateful. Like I I've got only love for my LGBTQ like
Right.
community, and you know, at the end of the day, for me, just prepping for that role is just like love. Who do I love? Why do I love? And that's
Yeah.
who do I need to protect? Why do I need to protect? Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Like Luke and I have a lot in common. Like I feel like I'm pretty in touch with like the feminine side of myself, and
Mm-hmm.
um, I appreciate I appreciate appreciated his energy because he was about family and he was about like keeping the balance of nature, and that's what his job was essentially. So I loved having that responsibility and that trust as well. People really were I don't know, really connected to that character. So again, one of those things that just can only be grateful for.
So I have quite a bit of friends who are super fans of the Vampire Diaries. So if
Nice.
it's okay with you, I did reach out to a couple to see if they'd like to ask you any questions. So I
Sure.
have a couple. I got 3 questions written down. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
All right. So Cassie asks, how difficult was it to embody the character considering a potential evil nature?
uh, Considering a potential evil nature,
With
like
being a part of like the Gemini Coven,
right.
and even like kind of the introduction was a little is menacing the right word? Um, you definitely seem friendly with Elena for a moment, but then going
Totally.
into that scene with Liv, I was like,
Yeah,
oh, what are they up to?
totally. So again, the way I perceived it, because the Gemini Coven, they were involved with white magic. White magic is like the pure intention. Their intention is
Yeah,
to keep the balance of nature. Vampires are unnatural. So therefore it is their job to make sure that these unnatural entities don't offset the balance. So
yeah,
I feel very justified within the character of Luke to
yeah,
do anything that he was doing, because again, it's not about even, it's about him and his family, yes, but more importantly, it's about the balance of like humanity. And
right,
I love that aspect.
yeah,
Um, so embodying that's so in my mind, I'm embodying like, and I think that's the way it is with every character. Like
yeah,
I'm right.
yeah,
Like
of
I
course,
feel justified.
yeah,
So it felt good. And then
yeah,
at the end of the day, he sacrifices himself for the family. Like what?
yeah,
He goes out in a freaking suit, like sick.
yeah. It's an
Like how else
amazing
are you
act.
gonna,
Yeah.
with honor in a suit? Awesome. Let's do it.
And I think about I don't know. Have you ever seen Honey Boy, the Shia LaBeouf movie, the new one?
Oh, you know what? I have not seen that yet.
It's amazing, but I ask because something you said just made me think of something Shia said because he plays his father in the movie,
Yeah,
and they didn't have a good relationship, and he said playing that character, you can't go in just this is a bad guy. You have to go in and you have to
totally.
try to understand the intricacies of that person and why they are that person, and
Yeah,
it helped him kind of repair that relationship with his father because he understood him. So
yeah,
it made me think of that when you were talking about the Luke being justified in all that he did
totally.
and believed. So yeah,
Absolutely. That's the coolest part about acting. It's like the funny part about being an actor is like the stereotypical kind of like narcissism.
mm.
But if you're a good actor, you're tapping into empathy because you
Right,
want to know about these people, and about why people do what they do. I
yeah,
mean, and again, these are fictitious characters,
yeah,
but alas, this is the art form. So.
yeah. So Lisa asks, who did you have the most fun with working on set? A
Um,
lot of people to choose from.
yeah, totally. I mean, it's either between um I would say, I mean, it's either Chris or Penelope, I
Yeah,
guess.
keep it in the
And
family.
we probably had the most fun with Penelope because we would oh, was it? I think it was Penelope. We played a trick on Chris one time because we were on set when he got his like name on the back of the chair type vibe.
Yeah. Hmm.
And so she ended up stealing it, and then she threw it in my car. And then I was driving home afterwards, and I had this like thing like flapping in my ear, and I was like, "What the heck is that?" And I pull it, and it's Chris Wood, and I'm like, What's going on?" And Penelope was like, "Oh, I thought that was the other Chris's car. Okay, just keep it." And so yeah, we held it from him for a little bit, and then we gave it back. So we'd have fun.
That's
Penelope,
amazing.
probably, yeah.
That's amazing. And now Ryan asked, what was your all-time favorite scene to film as Luke?
he, he um that that last scene was good. The merge was good because it was like complicated.
Right.
And there's like a lot of interesting like camera movements when it's happening. So yeah, it was like technical in a way.
Mhm.
Um, what was the other one? The car, like the like stopping the car.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. And then I think like the scene right before as I'm leaving Live, like to go fight Kai or to go meet up with Kai. Um, that scene felt really good when it happened.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember watching it and being like, okay, I think that translated. So I would say those.
No, I always felt like the merge was such an epic moment for you, and it kind of um, maybe sounds weird to say, but I kind of felt proud of you in that moment. That scene and also your scene with Tyler was two of my favorite scenes for you.
Yeah.
In the Lockwood Estate, I believe it was.
Uh-huh.
I felt like just you were acting your ass off, and
You're talking
just
about
trying
like
to
with Liv, me, and Tyler in the
right.
mansion. Yeah,
Yep.
totally. That was a fun. Yeah, that was a good. Yeah, man. That whole series really like I just got into Howard Fine's acting studio,
Yep.
who's an amazing coach or like teacher out here.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole like series just allowed me to just explore and really try and like figure out what my process was and like how to be a good actor. Like I didn't really even consider myself an actor for a while just because it felt kind of like weird to say and you know whatever. But there was a point where I just started calling myself an actor and called myself a musician because that's what I'd been doing and that's who I am. So it's
Absolutely.
yeah, it was a that that show was good times for sure.
So you've said you've gone on record saying that the Vampire Diaries saved your life.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that? Tell us about that.
Yeah, totally. So like legit I'm pretty sure this is how it happened. Um I got because I'm pretty sure that news came first. So like I got a mole taken off of my back. And then I got oh no, it didn't. Vampire Diaries came first, which allowed me to get like health insurance,
Mhm.
which then allowed me to um basically survive this whole situation. So anyway, I got nodular melanoma, which is like an aggressive form of skin cancer, and it was on my back. And then it ended up being like a pretty deep mole, and then it transferred like to my sentinel node in my armpit, which technically classifies it as stage 3A. Um, and so then I had to get I really have to go back and look at this timeline again because I believe I remember. No, it must have been season 6 or something. But I had the surgery, flew out. When I landed, got the call that I needed like another surgery. So I was like, ugh. And then I did whatever the shoot was. There was a couple of times where it was like Elena, and then there was one where Tyler chokes me, and that whole scene, nobody knew it, but I had like a tube in my armpit, like going
Yeah.
down to like this little like uh kind of pocket that was keeping the bodily fluid, not to get gnarly, but that's just what was occurring.
Right.
I couldn't lift my arm up, uh, like past this, and so anyway, like life came at me full force and was like, yo, you gotta you're gonna get a lot of medical bills and this is gonna be weird. And it got kind of depressing for a moment.
Mhm.
But then Vampire Diaries came through, and like basically a majority of all of my hospital bills were taken care of because I was on a show and it was just like making money at that time.
Yeah.
Uh, and have like if I didn't have Vampire Diaries, man, I don't even know. I don't even know what would have occurred. Um, so it was a cool. I mean, it's a cool time now. Then it was like, it's a mind melter, if you will.
Yeah.
But I would not freaking change it for the world, because that's like, that ain't just who I am. So I'm always looking at like, all right, what is this teaching me? Oh, okay, I need to be more healthy. Oh, okay, there's like things that I put in my body. Oh, I didn't know that this was actually beneficial for your body. Oh, wow, this is how the human body works. Like, just like getting reinvested in me and just like humanity. So it really freaking shook me and woke me up, and which I'm super grateful for, because my life has been better for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but if I didn't have Vampire Diaries, I don't know, man. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what?
You've always been like a really spiritual person, and at least from the outside, seems like you're a very positive person as well.
Yeah.
And that's always been it's always been something. Anytime I see it live on Instagram or anything like that, it's always kind of inspiring to me, to just try to have a good outlook on anything, and try to find the positive in the negative.
So yeah, I've got demons that are like screaming in my head, but
Yeah.
it's uh during that time as well, like going through all of that, like I really just dove into books about the universe and Einstein, and like, what do people think this place is like? And everywhere I looked, everybody was like, we have no idea. We think maybe this, and here are some theories. And that shit inspires me, man, because it's like, yo, the answer is for you to figure out.
Yeah.
And turns out you're probably not going to figure it out. So here's my perspective. It's either like a beautiful mystery, or like it's a beautiful happenstance, or it's like some beautiful intentional design and there's like meaning in everything. Cool. I'm just going to go with that because that serves me, you know?
Yeah.
Getting kind of like nihilistic and not really believing anything and everything is pointless. It's like, sure, it may be, but is that helping you now? you know? So
Right.
it just doesn't. I definitely have the negative aspects of my being. I just simply, I try to not let those voices be the loudest. And I have a little bit of a rule where once I find myself like getting negative in my head, like I force myself to go the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Because there's a voice in your head that wants there's a voice in your head that wants you dead. And then there's another voice that, is the complete opposite, that wants you to be fully alive. And man, that's the ebb and the flow. Like, you're going through that all day. There's this one quote, I forget. I think it's, oh man, if this is wrong, it might be wrong. If Viktor Frankl, it's a Man's Search for Meaning. I think that was the book. Man's Search for Meaning. Anyway, and I'm gonna butcher the quote as well, but this is what it is. The line of good and evil. I guess the summary is, the line of good and evil runs through every heart, basically. Like, that positive and the negative, heaven and hell is within every single human being. It's like, just try and manage your hell enough so that a little bit of heaven can like make room for a little bit of heaven. So
I like that. Yeah.
That's it. Like, I fail sometimes on that, and sometimes I'm good on it. But
we all do. Yeah. Some people don't like to talk about it, or feel some type of way, and maybe that's toxic masculinity or something like that. But I'm never afraid to say that I go to therapy, and it's been a beautiful thing for me. And I think it's finding those things that kind of help you get through those moments and help you find the positive in the negative. And I know for me, like, journaling is one of those things that's been very helpful, and just trying to just this sounds. Are you familiar with Dear Evan Hansen, the Broadway show?
Uh-uh.
So
What is
there's Dear Evan Hansen.
it? Okay. Oh, dear Evan Hansen. Okay.
So I definitely recommend it. I saw it on when it was on tour. It's so emotional and heartbreaking and funny and all that. But essentially, it's this kid who's depressed and he's contemplating suicide and all that. And his therapist has him basically write Dear Evan Hansen letters every single morning. It's like, Dear
Mm.
Evan Hansen, today's going to be a good day, and here's why, type thing.
Hmm.
And I recently, maybe like 2 months ago, I was in therapy, and my therapist recommended. He's like, hey, why don't you start your day off, right? Dear LJ Jones, like, today's gonna be a good day, and here's why. And it kind of just made me laugh because it brought me right to that show. But that's something that has helped me.
Yeah.
And I like that we're talking about this because sometimes these things always turn into some type of a therapy session, which everybody needs those. So
Yeah.
no, it's cool. But no, man, like you said that you didn't really let many people in on that time of your life, the medical stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like I let some friends in, and
Yeah,
um, but yeah, for me it was kind of like trying to keep it low because of like a couple people told me like just keep it to yourself,
yeah,
like don't put it out into the industry or anything because then like there's like liability and all this stuff that may pop up and blah 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 blah.
yeah,
And to an extent like I hear that, but there's also a point of me that's like after 5 years and like they yeah like not having any more problems like
yeah.
I don't, I'm not gonna if I think it's gonna be beneficial to somebody, like I'm not gonna not
Right. Yeah,
whatever. If there's
absolutely.
repercussions, there's repercussions, but
Well,
not.
I'm glad you got Vampire Diaries, and that was able to help you get through that moment in your life. I'm glad
Totally.
you did let some friends in, so you didn't have to go it alone.
Yeah.
But no, man, I'm so happy that it all worked out for you. Um, so let's talk about music.
Yeah,
Let
bro.
me tell you this. Let me tell you this, man. There's not a day that goes by that I don't start my morning out listening to Hustle.
Dude, really?
Since it came out, man, every day. Hustle is the first thing
Sick,
I
dude.
listen to. It kind of
Right on,
motivates me and gets me up, gets me going.
right on,
So yeah,
man.
let's talk about music, man. What's music been for you?
Music's my therapy. Music is my art form. Music's my it's my meaning. If I had to
Mm,
pick one or the other, it would be music over acting because
yeah,
it's a medium that I don't know. It's like I said, I need positive reinforcement just like anybody does. So that's why
yeah,
I write these songs.
mm,
Some of these songs, I mean, I guess most of my songs are relatively kind of, I don't know, positive or
right,
introspective or something of that nature. So for me, it's how I deal with the world and like
yeah,
my feelings. That's my biggest therapy. And
yeah,
then when I'm going through something, I'm trying to figure out what I need, how I feel,
yeah,
and then also if somebody else is going through something, how can I also write this in a way that allows somebody else to sing the words and have it mean something to them as well?
yeah,
And that's basic. Like sometimes the songs are just about like what I want them to be about and like kind of being a little bit like confident and like boisterous and kind
mm,
of like that type of vibe. And then there's the more kind of philosophical
yeah,
moments. It just really
yeah.
depends on
Hustle
what
kind of has
I'm.
both of them in there. Hustle has
Yeah,
both of those.
totally. Totally. It was one of those ones that it's like a very when I get the opportunity to record my like album, like
Mm,
it's gonna sound so different. Like
yeah,
Home and Hustle and all of that they're pretty like poppy.
yeah,
Um but I love them. That's the way they came out. So
yeah,
that's the way they are. But there's gonna be some more like kind of grungy,
Yeah.
but still same. Like we're still in the singer-songwriter
Mhm.
lyrics,
Yeah.
but I want more like Alabama Shakes and
Yeah.
um, what's his name? Shaky Graves. Have you heard of Shaky Graves?
I haven't. I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, you probably like him.
Yeah. I was driving to Miami with a friend of mine, and I threw your album in because I have the physical. I have the physical of
Yeah,
life, and I threw it in, and we're listening to it. My friend loved it. He's like, "What what genre is this?" And I didn't know how to how to
dude.
answer. So
It's so
what do you
true,
call it?
dude. I don't know. That's my biggest. No, I don't know. It's my biggest problem. But it's like they're just. I think the way I think it's happening is they just come to me when they're supposed to,
Mhm.
and all of those are singles, so they kind of like stand by themselves.
Mhm.
But the songs that are coming through now feel very like an album, and they all
Okay.
sound very similar. Like,
Mhm.
well, they would be grounded in like a similar sound.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think a lot of that is just it's like evolution and exploration
Yeah.
and kind of music's always inspiring me. Like I love reggae, I love rap, I love rock, I love soul, and I love
Yeah.
blues, and
Yeah.
it's a mixture of all of it. And I love poetry, so it's a mixture of all of it.
Yeah. I grew up to be a hip hop head, so your Biggie reference in
Yeah, dude.
is that CMB?
I
Is
think
that
it's that intro, yeah, CMB
yeah
for sure.
yeah yeah? So
I'm
I
waiting for
listened
that
to
to like actually. We'll see. Like I'm trying to speak that into reality. We'll see what happens.
man.
Easy, please be in your seat. If I'm giving a speech or receiving a Grammy,
Yes, I
please.
love it. Thinking back to when I met you, man, you were in a rock band, right?
Yeah, like
So
rock, like punk rockish. Yeah,
yeah, so just there's a lot of I don't even want to say growth because the punk rock was great, but it's just like kind of your ability to do different types of music is it just kind of shows your talent. Yeah,
thanks, brother. Yeah, I think it's it's like it's an evolution.
Mhm.
It like it started out like I started writing songs like 17ish, and that was all like emo punk rock, but also like Dashboard Confessional and like all these super emotional,
Yeah,
I don't know, artists. But I also grew up on country music, so like I love certain melodies in country. I love certain feelings in melodies in like punk rock. I
yeah,
love flows in hip hop. I love the vibe of reggae. I love the soul of like soul music,
yeah.
and just like the sadness of blues, and just whatever's whatever's coming out. But it has been a yeah, because if you go on Spotify, there's like two songs from Lemonade Mouth on there. So if you hit that first, you're like, who is this kid? And then you'll get like, yeah, probably like three different genres and all the other
Yeah.
tunes. So I don't know.
I think that happened like 2 3 weeks ago. I was driving to work and oh no. I used to so I live in like Newport Richie, but I used to work in Tampa, so it was about a good hour drive, and I was listening to your Spotify, and I just put it on shuffle, and then all of a sudden
Yeah,
Lemonade Mouth came on. I was like, what just happened?
I know. I know.
But
Hey,
still banger though.
hey, it's still I still got a little bit of a percentage of that. I haven't seen checks from that in a while though, so I don't know if
You
they
know
still.
what came up on my like a recommended video on YouTube. My son was watching YouTube and recommended was the song you did. It was a music video. Was it with Adam Hicks? The
Yeah,
rap song.
burning up totally.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I made him play. He's like, oh, it was the son that came over. He's like, what? Because he's watching whatever he's watching from Disney,
Yeah.
and he enjoys hip hop too, which is interesting for a 5-year-old. But he's like, oh, I like this.
Yeah, they get it.
Yeah.
The little ones
Um,
are about the waves, man. They love dance.
Absolutely. A friend of mine started this positive hip hop for children kind of character. It's called PJ Panda,
Uh,
and so he kind of turns nursery rhymes into hip hop, so it's bearable for parents.
uh-huh.
And he did like a Baby Shark and stuff like that. It's funny.
That's
But
awesome. It's a smart
so
business model too.
Oh, absolutely, and it's. I mean, just like I remember, because right before he started it, like he was just kind of like low on money, and he was able to kind of turn it into a full time thing,
Yep.
and that's it's just the mind of a creative, which is amazing. Just seeing something come to fruition like that is really cool. But back to your music, man. Something that like that I just love about your music is that you're able to piece together all of that to form your own sound. Because I think a lot of musicians kind of struggle trying to sound like whatever's popular,
Yeah.
and that's what I love about your music is that that's not what you're doing. You're doing whatever you want to do, whatever sounds good to you, and it's like basically whoever gravitates to it, and it'll impact them in whatever way it does, and that's amazing.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Yeah, I've
Mm.
like it definitely started out like if you look at the song Life is Good,
Yep.
like that was I wrote that when I was listening to Jason Mraz, and it's very I think it's very apparent if I would have told you that. And then but there was I forget I don't know what song it was, but that's and I think this is good for everybody that wants to do anything, man. It's like you have to emulate first.
Mm.
You have to try and like be somebody that you admire. And once you start aiming for that, you're not going to be that because you're not that. But what you are starts to like come out of you and you start to understand yourself a little bit more. And with me, just for music, I can't even take responsibility for some of these tunes. Like they're coming, they're just
Yep.
coming. And
Yep.
it's, I mean, they're based off of my like psyche and like what I'm thinking about and how I feel. But these things just come and I just have to like write them down so that I don't forget them.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's a,
I can't wait for this next album. Is there a timeline for it, or
no, I'm not
you
even. So like right now what I'm about to do next, like musically. So I'm probably gonna. I've got one track that's very poppy as well, poppy sounding, but I'm only. It's gonna be kind of like spoken word in a way,
okay?
and I want lyrically. It's kind of it's like hustle lyrically.
Okay.
So it's gonna be another one similar like that, but I want to release it for free. I want to take donations. And I talk about it in the song. Like I'm gonna keep 10% and I'm gonna take the 90%. And we're gonna go do something like good with it. We're gonna go figure out what it is. And I
It's
tell
amazing.
people like I did the math. If I made a trillion that way,
Hmm.
if I use that business model, we could end world hunger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We made a million that way. One of the lyrics is if I made a million my way, I would break bad like Jesse Pinkman and start throwing stacks into your driveway.
That's amazing.
It's
I
just
love that.
so like that, but that's about.
Yeah.
I wanna release that and start something called movement music, and where it's
Okay.
like that. Yeah, artists donate songs, and like you'll keep
Hmm.
10% of the proceeds of the profit, and like give the rest away. You know,
That's.
and you got your tax write-off for the year as well. Like you can, your accountant will be happy, but more importantly, like the world's better. So
Yeah,
win-win.
and especially in times like this. Like, I mean, I work at a hospital full time, so I'm lucky enough to still be working.
Totally.
Um, but I mean, even my friend Alicia, she lives in LA. She works for Ellen, and she's a production assistant.
Yep.
And so they were lucky enough to still be getting paid. But I think we all know people in the restaurant industry who were laid off, bartenders, whatever it may be. So there's definitely been a couple bartender friends of mine that I've tried to slide some money to and help out in whatever little way that I'm able to. So
Yeah.
I think what you're doing is not only admirable but it's inspirational. So I think that's incredible.
And man, I appreciate it. I think that's during this time, that's my like goal. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not about identity politics. I'm not about breaking anybody down to colors. I'm not about breaking people down from where they're from. I'm about like humanity,
Yeah.
and then we work from there.
Yeah.
I don't need to know like who you love, why you love them, who you identify, why you identify. It don't matter to me. I love you. What's your name? That's it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
tell me your name. Pleasure to
Right.
meet you. Be well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, so anything we can kind of try and do during this time to like create and also like compassionate capitalism. Like, I want that to be sexy. Because, dude, everybody knows money doesn't make you happy, but what makes you happy is having enough money so your bills are paid.
Yeah.
So once that's
Right.
taken care of, like,
Yeah.
dude, mansions and all that jazz, it's like, is it necessary?
Yeah.
Not for happiness.
You seem very happy with your with your garden.
Yeah,
And
my mini garden. It's my little
yeah.
experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah, when all this hit
What?
the fan, go
Yeah.
ahead.
I was gonna say, what got you into it?
So what got me into it? So I had a garden growing up. My dad planted a garden. Um, I made a garden at the second house that we lived in California. Um, and then when I moved in with my wife, there was one summer where I was like, "Oh, can I make a little garden box?" She was like, "Sure." And then I did it, and it was rubbish because I went and bought the plants from Home Depot. Everything died. It baked. They were just like, it didn't work. And she was like, "You can't make a garden." I was like, "No, I can. No, I can't." So
There's a
the next
challenge for you.
year, yeah, exactly. It's like, no, I'm better than this. I know I am. And so then, yeah, the next year, just really, and every year since then, just I love that idea, and especially, I mean, right now it's like I said, it's kind of for me an experiment. Like when all this went down, I went and got like seeds and whatnot, and I've got like a good little kind of like stockpile that I gave some to my family. I've got a little going on here. I'm like doing little starters for friends. Like I said, just trying to get grounded back into food and like nature. Um, so it's been a fun little experiment. Like I'm growing peanuts, I'm growing potatoes and garlic and lettuce, and I just started like watermelon and peppers, and so we'll just see kind of what happens.
Keeps
Well,
you at
what's
the grocery store. Keeps you at the
what?
grocery store. It's like
Yeah,
keeps you right. Yeah, that's
exactly.
kind of scary. Kind of scary right now. But no, that's
Yeah, I got
seeing
my
your vid.
beans and rice. You got your beans
Yeah.
and rice?
Mhm.
Okay, good.
Seeing your video, man, I live live in an apartment. I kind of want to start one right outside the window. Like I
Dude,
watch your stories, and whenever you post them, and I'm like, oh, that kind of seems like fun, relaxing.
dude, it's the
Plus,
best,
you can
man.
benefit from it.
Yep.
You know,
And if you just find a nice window that gets a good amount of sun, and lettuce is pretty easy, especially if it's inside, then little bugs aren't eating it and stuff. So that's awesome.
Mhm.
Um, herbs inside be
Yeah.
pretty good. They could that's pretty useful.
Mhm.
I think herbs would be a great one actually for you to do in the
Start.
window.
Yeah. Okay.
That'd probably be nice because it's like a little bit of like a more long term,
Mhm.
like you use it more frequently. Like you have to with lettuce, like it's either like a full harvest or you like
Yeah.
plant them every like month or something. So you kind of like keep grabbing greens. But yeah, do a little
Yeah.
nice little like window box.
Yeah, my apartment gets like really nice sun. Like I was like, when I was looking at, it, I was like, oh, it's bright in here. It's
Yeah,
nice. So I have to
that's
give
awesome.
it a try. I take all your tips that you post. One thing I love that you do is like your handyman stuff on YouTube.
Oh, right on.
Building stuff, and it's like I haven't, but it makes me want to try some of those things that you've done.
Yeah, man. That's like in
That's your way of staying creative, or just staying
totally
just
like
focus. Yeah,
so. So for like I've got a video up there called Clamp Lamp. I don't know if it's
yeah.
still. Sometimes I put it on private, sometimes I don't. I don't know.
I remember seeing
But
it. I don't know if it's up there now.
yeah, that for me is just like I found that clamp at an estate sale and just thought, just thought to myself like, oh my god, this would be the sickest lamp. And then
Yeah,
one day just had a little bit of time, a little extra money, and made one with the idea of like, again, I put them up on my website.
yeah.
So if somebody wants them, like I think I built it. I think I built it for like $100 with all the wiring and everything.
Right.
And so then I throw it up on my website for like $225 if somebody wants it. Sick. If not, like it's literally just sitting in my house right now. That's that
Really
life
cool.
right there.
That's amazing. I love it.
So
So with everything on lockdown, the industry is shut down. I haven't had an audition in 2 months.
same.
What what do you have on the horizon for when everything opens back up?
So my latest film that I did called Recon was I haven't heard anything, but it was supposed to be released in theaters, like a limited release in the US in theaters. I thought before the summer. No, I don't think that's I don't know what's happening. I haven't talked to the producer. So that'll either be in theaters this year, or they'll probably find some like digital platform to release it on. So that's a film that I got going on, and it's the best. It's just the best. It's the best thing
Is
I've ever
that
done.
is that the war film that you were
Yeah.
working on?
Yep.
I've been following that. The news from that. I'm excited to see that.
Dude, I can't wait to see it. It was such a good film, like a freaking dream for sure.
Really good cast too.
Dude, such a good cast. Such a good cast. I don't even know how it happened. So a producer friend of mine, I worked with him on a film. It was after Lemonade Mouth and Soul Surfer and all that jazz. So I was actually probably your age. And it was called Dawn Patrol. And
Yeah, I've seen it.
that same producer was doing Recon, and they had looked like all over the world. And then one day he just was like, dude, I completely spaced. Here's the script. If you can get this on, we're trying to like get into production in like 2 weeks. And I was like, okay. And dude, like read the script, memorized the monologue. There's this one monologue that you'll see in the film, like we're walking through, and my character just won't shut up, and it's awesome.
I can't wait, man. Was it originally called Peace? The change
It
the name?
was.
Okay.
It was.
Okay.
I don't know why they changed the name, but they changed the name. It was based off of the book called Peace as well. So I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see that, man. You have anything else lined up? Are you ready to start auditioning again?
Yeah, basically. Right now I'm getting my money hustle down because I'm not, it comes and it goes, as you know. And right now I don't have a lot of money at all.
Yeah.
I'm from paycheck to paycheck, legitly. So right now I'm just like, I teach acting 3 days a week. I'm also branching out and doing my own little private lessons for acting, and then also guitar and creative songwriting, and creating content to put on YouTube to just try and keep my independent music. Like I'm just trying to build the base so that once one thing hits, like other things can hit, and then just let the domino effect happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just that's basically, there's nothing acting wise in the future. Had a couple good auditions before this went down. Don't know what that means. I've been close on a lot, like been getting like, I'm close. So we'll just see we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
The close factor, like getting all the callbacks and stuff, just kind of wait. I remember Corey in the House, man. I remember being so excited for you. Like it was up between you and Jason Dolly, right?
Yeah, totally.
That's I forget. I had It was MacGyver. I had recently had an audition for MacGyver.
Nice.
Um, actually, so I had an audition for MacGyver last year. It was a one-liner, didn't book, and then my agent called me at like, this has never happened to me. My agent called me, called my cell phone at like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
and she's like, "Hey, they the called me at like 11." What?
So quick, so quick. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And she was like, "Hey, you remember you auditioned for MacGyver?" I was like, "Yes, a year ago. What?" And she's like, "Well, they just contacted me about seeing if you can have a tape in by 7 a.m." I was like, "Yes, yeah."
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
and that was right before the lockdown, so it felt really. I ended up doing.
Yeah.
I did one scene, and then I had to go. I had to do another scene a couple days later. And then the first scene was. I'll send you the audition. Get your feedback, because really the first thing that was like they didn't send me a script. They gave me like a quick little storyline,
Oh
and
wow.
they said improv monologue.
Wow. What the heck?
Yeah, and I've never anything like that. And then I got a scene a couple days later, but um, I'll send you the thing, see what you think. And that
Super interesting.
honestly, it was quite possibly like my best audition, like the just improv in a monologue, and
Yeah.
I outlined it and stuff, but it was fun.
Of course.
It was to be like the villain of the character or whatever, but no, it was fun. So this just popped in my head. I want to compliment you on this. Your 2 episodes in Notorious,
Yeah.
your courtroom scene had like my jaw dropped. Like
Oh, thanks, man.
you were really fucking acting. Excuse my language.
The one like in the sorry, in the, like the news, in the
Yeah,
news. Yeah, right?
yeah.
Right? 'Cause
I think so.
yeah.
It's been like a year since I saw it, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I think
You were
that's
yelling. It was.
yeah. Yeah, it was news, it was in like a news
Mhm.
room or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, man, that was again like
Yeah.
for me that was one of those really strong, like I felt so justified in my character because my character was like trying to get like he was definitely doing some shit he wasn't supposed to be doing, but he definitely didn't do what they claimed he did.
Mhm.
And so that was a lot of fun for me, like fighting against somebody who thinks they like legally have control over me, and just like
Yeah.
fighting for that, which was a lot of fun. I remember doing that. That was one of those like callbacks that I did, and the director was like just stoked. He was like, "Oh, you." He was this. What did he say? He's like, "Oh, you, like you killed it, baby boy." And I was like, "All right, right on, man. Thank you, appreciate that."
You knew right then, right? You knew that you had it, or you hoped at
It
least.
definitely felt leaving. I left feeling good.
Yeah.
But man,
You never know.
I've
Yeah.
left feeling good a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah.
like, oh, like in your car, just like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I have
I've
those
noticed.
moments for sure.
I've noticed for me at least when and it's weird. It's like I feel like when I bomb a audition, it seems that's when I get it. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't
totally.
know why.
Yep.
Most recently I did a Publix commercial. Like it was a book from tape, book straight from tape, and I was like, that was the worst audition I've ever done in my entire life. And then the next day they called me, the booked it. I was like, why? Like
Yeah,
I wanted to question. I was like, well, I did not do well.
yeah. What did
But
you like? And they're
what
like,
about it
well,
did you like?
it's a
But
commercial, so we love your look.
yes, yeah, oh yeah, of course. But so I always end these things asking, what advice would you give to any starving artists out there, whatever they may be aspiring to do? What advice would you give them?
Be hungry for the right things and be selective on how you feel your appetite,
Mm,
because like
it's a bar.
it's a bar, man. I don't. Here's the deal: if you need to do it, you're gonna do it. Like if
Yeah.
if it's something that, okay, if you have something that means a lot to you, there's a reason for it. And for me, what I did was at like 22, I like all these good things happened. Like I had pretty decent success at that time. And I remember just like talking to the universe and being like, okay, I'm here. I'm doing this for a reason. I somehow fell into this, put in the work, and now I'm here. So if we can, I guess what I'm getting at is like I try and set like my intention of why I'm trying to do this thing. And like what I was telling with you is like my goal is like I want to make all the money but die without any of it. Like I want to come through, I want to do art, I want to do it to the best of my ability. I want to make a lot of money and I want to give away a lot of money. Like I just want to I want to come through on this realm, have a heck of a lot of fun, leave it better than I found it. So if you can anchor what you want to do in a deep, and this is the same with like acting, if you can anchor what you want to do with a deep enough why, like nobody can stop you, man. Like, and think about it. What's the worst thing people say is no. Like, no. Did that hurt? No. Like, sure, you know, it sucks for a little bit because you, as an artist or as anybody that's trying to pursue anything, like you have to be vulnerable. That's part of it. Some people don't want your vulnerability. That's not really on them. But there's somebody that wants that, and there's a market for that. So just like go for what inspires you. You know, and for me it's acting, and first and foremost is music, and secondly it's acting. Music because I have control over that narrative, and acting because I get to meet all these people and like collaborate and create. So figure out what inspires you and do it honorably. Because if you want to do anything for just the money, like you can maybe do it just for the money, but it's not going to satisfy. Probably. You know, like, and fame is a complete rubbish like idea. That's so fleeting that it's not anything to shoot for. So if you're hungry, just it's so cliche, man. You just got to go for it.
You have a line in one of your songs. You say you do it for the art, not income. And that's, I mean, I posted that quote on Facebook a while ago, and got so much love on that. It's just that's the way to live. And when I say it got so much love, it got so much love from my actor, singer, rapper friends.
Totally.
Like this is why we do it. I forget what actor was it that. Forget who it was that said, if I never made it this far, I'd still be doing community theater for free because I love it so much.
Totally. I've thought about that too. It's like, dude, I'm going to retire in a little small town one day and just like have fun with the theater. It's like roll up and be like, yo, let's play. Let's do it. And the next line in that song is equally as fun. I carpe kisses and never stress DM.
Yes. So my advice to anybody listening is do what I do. Start every day out listening to Hustle. Give him his streams and his 0.007% on Spotify.
Right. That's right.
But no. Hey,
and that's the whole pie, baby. I get all of that 0.07%.
That's I put out a song because I do music. I rap. I put out a song, Party Next Door. Actually, no, I have a song called Starving Artist based on this, and or this based off that. And I got like 14,000 streams or something like that on there.
It's like, dude, is it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, everything.
Oh, man. Send me all the links, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I'm saying 14,000 streams. I think I got $62. Cool. I'll take it. I'll take it. You know,
that's exactly right.
I just want people to be inspired by it. You know what I mean?
That's it. And you're like, again, if you're doing it independently, it's like you just put it out, and eventually 1 out of 100 hits. You make a little bit of money off of that, and then like just the process continues.
Absolutely.
You know, until there's so much content out there that it's just like it's an accumulation.
Absolutely.
Let's just create.
Listen, man, this has been amazing. I've really enjoyed talking to you. Catching up.
Same, brother.
I hope when I go to LA we can connect. Dinner's on me. Let me take you out. And I hope we can work together. I'm a writer now. I'm gonna write something for us. I'm gonna write
Yeah.
something for us.
Listen, I'm about the content, man. So like,
Yeah.
if we got a
Yeah.
project, send me some ideas, and we'll just kind of like just figure it out. Like, is a good enough idea? If it's a good enough idea, like,
Make it work.
be done.
Make it work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, man. Tell your wife, your mom, dad, Doug, Kate, that I said hello.
I will, brother.
I hope they're well. Also, congratulations on your nephew.
Thanks, man.
Beautiful.
So cute.
Yeah, man, I'm happy for you and all your success. Like I said, man, I'm really excited that we were able to talk and connect. I'm glad you're doing well. Thank you so much for doing this, man.
Dude, a pleasure. Sorry for making you wait.
No, and I'm sorry for my son's interruptions.
Nah. And congratulations on your son, by the way.
Thank you, man. Thank
I
you.
didn't realize, man. That's awesome.
I got 3, man. I got 3 sons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
He's about to turn 5, and then I have a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Wow, man. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You're busy.
Yeah. This is a weird place to bring it, but my wife and I recently got divorced, so that's why she came out as lesbian. So completely animosity free divorce. I'm happy as can be for her. But it's weird, man. To come to be divorced and be so happy, not only for her, but just that it can end well, and
yeah, man.
3 beautiful children out of it.
Yeah, man. That's it, and that's the goal. That's how me and my ex were as well. Like, we weren't married, but like, ending a relationship where you guys like just respect each other and aren't like talking shit behind each other's backs. Like,
that should be
respect. Yeah, man, respect. Because that's how that's exactly how it should be, man. Like, you're in each other's life because you need each other for something. And if you don't respect that fact, that I can understand how people get like completely bitter and like all that jazz. But dude, I'm happy that has been the process for you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, listen, it's been amazing. I appreciate you. So this has been another episode of Starving Artist, and we'll catch you guys next week.